So it's so cold out here that I don't know if you guys can see the steam coming out of it. So we put boiling water in the chicken food. There's a couple of reasons why we put wet. We put it wet for starters because it's so cold that all their waters freeze. So their waters are frozen. You try to keep up with them waters every day, but they freeze, they're just frozen. So they need water to process the food. So it helps them out a lot to digest. It helps them to get warm, for one, and then it helps them to digest. So that's why we do like boiling stuff. It's a little different. They got their lamps in here. Well, these guys today, we haven't let them out. But you see, they're ready to grow up. So, these guys are kind of, but give them warm food will help them a lot. Helps them to get their little body temperature a little higher, and it helps them digest because they won't need as much water. They won't need as much water as if they're eating dry food. And since you can see the ice out here, so you can realize that everybody listens to the "Here Comes My Dog." Damn, my dog. There's notes out here. So thankfully, you know what I mean, I haven't lost one of these birds out here. We haven't lost them because you have to adapt. You have to change. We got a lot of birds in here, but it's just logic, you know what I mean? Whenever you feed them dry food, they will always need water to digest it. You see these guys? They love this. But it comes to a point that you gotta give them this wet food. It's not only wet, but it's also warm. So it'll help them digest. So you don't have to worry about giving them as much water. And one of the most important things for all these birds and for any animal out here, for us, if we were out here in the freezing, it's you can feed them 10 tons of goddamn food, you know what I mean? 10 tons of it. But if they can't digest it, then all your work is just in vain, you know what I mean? They'll freaking die. So actually give them wet is one thing, and warm is the second thing. They will actually, you're helping their little bodies warm up for a bit. Plus, you're helping them digest the food because it's already wet. I wouldn't usually do this. It's a little harder and more work. You know, you have to boil water and dilute their food. But at the end, that's the only way you can get them to. All these guys here are just the unwanted. They're all the roosters. They all got their heat lamps though. Everybody does have their heat lamps going. Hopefully this little storm is over soon. Well, this is how we feed That's how we do it feeding the chickens. So it's buckets with really, really hot. And even though it's like the wind calmed down, I don't know, a night or so ago, it was bad. Really, really, really bad. But I haven't lost one bird. You know what I mean? And it's just so funny because they're still laying eggs. Even though the eggs are freezing. So they crack. They bust open. This is how it is when you're on, I guess, sub-zero temperatures out here. And that's the way I feed the chickens. I'll make another video here in a little bit. How I feed the cows and sheep and goats and the llamas. And how I've divided all of them. You know what I mean? Have some in some pens, some in another. Everything has a reason. But, yeah, love this weather. Bang, bang.